Reverend Dr. Charles Lastardo, SJ, Chief Guest Dr. Oswald Mascarenhas, SJ, Assistant Research Director Dr. Deepika Joshi, respected speakers and participants. We come to the end of our 5-day faculty development program on case study writing in commerce and management, organized by the Research Center of St. Joseph's College of Commerce, funded by AICTE Training and Learning Academy, New Delhi. Before we proceed, we will now take this time to show our gratitude and invoke the blessings of the Almighty. I request Ms. Sharon to lead us in prayer.
Dear all, kindly bow your head in prayer. Dear God, thank you for all the grace that you have showered on us. Your blessing on all the 5-day national level FTP funded by AICTE and Atal Academy have helped us in the smooth conduct of this event. We thank you, Lord, for helping all the session speakers throughout this entire event to deliver the best of their capability. We also ask you to shower your immense grace on the participants who have attended. We ask all of this in a mighty name.
Thank you, Ms. Sharon. Principal of St. Joseph's College of Commerce, Dr. Charles Lastardo, SJ, began his educational career as a lecturer in commerce at St. Aloysius College, Mangalore in 1996. Dr. Charles spent 25 years teaching at Mangalore University and St. Joseph's Evening College, Bangalore. He served as a secretary and treasurer of Karnataka Jesuit Educational Society, Bangalore until December 2020. His educational experiences have afforded him the opportunity to collaborate with a diverse group of people to meet the common goal of increasing student achievement and well-being. His educational philosophy is based on his uncompromising belief that education is an enabler of action that seeks to better the experience of our lives. I am now pleased to invite our principal, Reverend Dr. Charles Lastardo, SJ, to address the gathering.
Thank you, Ms. Jatina, for that introduction. Dear participants of this 5-day FDP, a warm good afternoon to each one of you. I understand past 5 days have been very hectic. Listening, all these years, all these months and days you have been talking in the classrooms, and now for the last 5 days, you had the opportunity just to listen. And this must have been very hectic, yet a fulfilling one because a lot of learning has taken place. We have touched upon characteristics of a good case, steps in writing a case, writing questions as per Bloom's taxonomy, characteristics of a good teaching note, and prerequisites for case writing, identification, collecting evidence, case selection, case study protocol, and challenges and remedies when writing the case, and all such small areas of case study writing, and ended up with happiness and well-being session by Dr. Joseph DeMello just a while ago. I'm sure last 28 hours, this is the 29th hour of this FDP, quite taxing yet quite fulfilling. And I'm sure the experience and the input given by the experts will be of help in your teaching career days and years ahead. At this juncture, I would like to place on record the contribution made by Dr. Deepika Joshi, the convener of this 5-day program. She has been preparing for this program for the last 6 months. I remember in June, she came up with entire schedule and said, this is going to happen this way. And these are the resource persons who have agreed and confirmed. And meticulously planned all these 5 days, every session. And she was ably assisted by Natya Bopanna, Vinay Pradeep, Sharon, and Jitina James. They have been with her during the last 5 days and preparation to these days as well. And Dr. Sridhar L also was there in the planning process, and I would like to thank each one of them for making this possible and a successful one. So I don't take much time. I but want to thank all the participants, nearly 200 participants who actively participated and made these 5 days of national level FDP on case study writing in commerce and management a successful one. Thank you and God bless each one of you in your teaching career.
Thank you, Father, for your warm words. Reverend Dr. Oswald Mascarenhas did his master's in philosophy from Karnataka University and in mathematical economics from University of Detroit, USA, double majored in finance and marketing, and completed his PhD in business and applied economics from Wharton School of Business, University of Pennsylvania, USA. He is currently the professor of research and has enormous research publications to his name. His research interests include ethics of domestic and global marketing strategies, creativity and innovation management, internet marketing and consumer privacy, and currently corporate ethics and governance, business turnaround and transformation management. We are honored to have you with us, sir. We welcome you now to address the gathering.
Yeah, now we can speak.
Thank you for that introduction. And I'll start my valedictory remarks right away. As I see, the program is very well organized, very well sequenced, and the primary topic was case writing for in-commerce and management. I'll slightly depart from that particular topic because I like to make case writing very, very relevant to the times that we live in. Cases were mostly corporate cases. The earliest cases that were written by in Harvard Business School, somewhere around 1908, were mostly concerning financial concerns, financial insolvencies, and how do you get the company out of that insolvency situation and so on. And even today, to this day, Harvard Business School, which pioneered the case methodology, still wants the students to be fully immersed in cases. A typical student in Harvard Business School does not graduate his 2-year program of MBA unless he has mastered and thoroughly comfortable with about 250 cases every year for the 2-year program. They don't spend too much time in theory, concepts, values, because Harvard Business Review tradition is on cases. As opposed to my school, well, the Wharton School of Business, it doesn't have any cases at all. Even at the very beginning, it kind of discourages cases, but in place, you have to kind of fill it with new concepts, new theories, new paradigms, because the time has come, cases may not really cover the essence of business management. Cases are still very particular, very contextual, very contingent, and so we need something more theoretical, more generalizable, which is found in theory, and therefore Wharton School went for theory management, and it is very valid because at the time when Harvard Business School started in 1908, that's more than 220 years ago. Business management was, as a science, was in its very nascent stage. No cases, no theories, no valid concepts, no paradigms, no any theory, no. Hence, the best way of starting the program was to start with cases. So, faculty of Harvard Business School were designated to walk around the whole country, meet with company executives, meet with companies, come out right with cases. And they wrote, to this day, they've got about 850 cases in their repertoire, and all are good cases. And most of these cases are available for us for a small value, and that's how they manage the case writing. Today, what I want to do is depart slightly away from the so-called contextual, corporate, financial related cases to the cases of the whole world that should be sort of gripping us. So here I'm giving you just a kind of a brief rundown of the major cases that are involving all of us, all business schools, and therefore it's high time that we spend some time with these big cases. So now, instead of simply giving the cases, I'm trying to classify the cases. What I put here is, if you see in this particular row here, domain of impact is either local or global. That is the x-axis. And the y-axis is nature of crisis, geopolitical or geobiological. I'll explain all these terms. So these are the list of cases I've just put. It's kind of a sampling of cases. There are more than 50 cases that are involved here. Now, these are not cases, local cases. They're not purely corporate cases, but these are cases which are global, which are affecting not only one country or two countries, but that they affect continents and regions and the whole of northern hemisphere versus southern hemisphere. And these are the cases here, for instance, the global cases that I've put in the second column. Of course, the global warming. Perhaps the most current, most urgent case that we should be worried about, and yet there's not much writing on this particular global warming. There is kind of speculative writing and theoretical writing, but this case has not been handled well. So there is a global climate change, which is a kind of another relation of the global warming. And so global climate change, we are already experiencing climate either a couple of degrees up, a couple of degrees now down. And what do we make of it? How do we handle this particular case? But if this goes uncontrolled, unchecked, we may be boiling the entire atmosphere with very, very high toxic products. And we may freeze to the other extent too. Therefore, it's called global climate change. Neither upwards or downwards, both are equally likely. Cradle to grave products, what does that mean? That's the most important thing in all the companies that come up with new products. They think that at certain stage, the particular product can be a corporate throwaway. And therefore by the time it reaches its grave, it becomes a waste. And that waste becomes a burden to nature as to how it can get rid of that waste. And hence the next particular case is global waste disposal. And when we cannot get rid of the products, we put them in landfills, so global landfills, and global pollution accordingly. Then global epidemiology, we have just finished the so-called attack on us by COVID-19. Epidemiology is now most of us are getting alive and awake to respond to epidemiological attacks of the future. Hopefully, we have learned enough from COVID-19, but we have to get ready to see what are the other Delta versions of the COVID-19 that are still lingering in the air and may still harm us. Then global asylum migration. You know, most of the Levant countries, the middle belt, Eastern Mediterranean, South Mediterranean countries are experiencing political chaos, even economic chaos, even religious chaos, and hence the people are forced to migrate out of the country, and they become what we call asylum migrants, and millions of them are all over the world, especially seeking asylum in North Mediterranean countries of Europe. And several of them have really been very helpful, especially UK, Germany, and so on. But the other countries are a little hesitant to give them asylum right now. But there's a major problem in the migration. Even in India, domestically, there's a tremendous migration. People from the south are going to the north are going to the south, looking for employment. If there is no employment in your own home state and there's no employment opportunity, or if you have an employment opportunity, you're underemployed and therefore you don't make enough of money to kind of take care of your family, then obviously you have to look for other places where you can get better. So that's a major problem. Hence, global migration, the internal domestic migration. The global greenhouse gases, you know all about it. We are using cars right, left, and center, huge trucks right, left, and center. We are constantly expelling a lot of greenhouse gases through driving very expensive and gas guzzling cars. This is a major problem. This is a major case. It affects all of us. Nothing has been written about it because we are still worried about corporate cases. We're still worried about microfinance related cases. Here is something that is affecting the whole world, and we need to read about it. And so global greenhouse gases is a major case. So global fraud and bribery, you know that our world is perhaps witnessing the highest forms of very ugly and very embarrassing cases of bribery, fraud, and money laundering. This is a major case, and this is the case that I'm talking about, a global case. Can we do something about it? Because otherwise we are simply enveloped and caught in this race of fraud and bribery. The global commodification, what it means is that every particular product, like for instance, in the previous lecture you heard about what you call happiness and well-being. Happiness and well-being are still respectable products. One day they'll be commodified too, and therefore they will put a value to it. They'll put money to it, and a case and a package to it, and everything will be packaged and gone. And therefore happiness will be ruined, and the well-being will be ruined. So this global commodification is going on everywhere because most of our values are now commodified and are sold in packages. So this is our current problem of commodifying everything. We have got commodities like gold and silver and all the metals and gas and petrol and so on. But when you come to commodify certain aspects of our own life, like religion, peace, value, charity, and concern for others, care, then there's something wrong with us. The global value erosion is connected to that. The global financial crisis that happened in October 2008. That happened, and all of us lost, including India and all the countries of the world lost heavily. And then another crisis may come in 2020-22, as foreseen by very responsible people. It's a global case that we have to be ready for. If you go to the first quadrant says domain of impact is local. Okay, and the nature of crisis is geopolitical. Most of these cases are not circumscribed in a country or in a small region, no. They involve several countries, several political regions, and hence the best way to describe this new way of thinking is called geopolitical. It's just a new branch in management that is coming. Very few articles have been written about it, but it's a very important concern. Most of these problems, most of these cases that I'm giving here, global cases, cannot be handled by one corporation, one country, one region. It has to be handled by a geopolitical movement with its own governance, with its own courts, with its own laws. Right now, we don't have any of those. So anyhow, therefore, I put geopolitical. So see that with geopolitical and local, the domain of impact is local. The tsunami, for instance, is a major case. During the last 20 years, there have been more than 8 tsunamis. We never had that high incident of tsunamis in the history of the world. And why they happen? Because this nature is suffering different types of different types of physiological upheaval or even human cultural upheaval, and therefore climate changes take place, global warming takes place, and tsunami erupts. And tsunamis are getting more and more frequent and more devastating. So that's tsunami. Arctic meltdowns. We never had so many glaciers in the Arctic melting down, and each melting down of an Arctic causes tremendous amount of chain reaction. The water that is melted down finally may reach the lowermost oceans of the globe and causing all sorts of floods and rainforests and so on. And land erosion. As the meltdown takes place, the lands are eroded, and a lot of lands which are normally available for farming and for agricultural development are no more available because they're all washed away. Land encroachment comes because of that, deforestation, then mineral over extraction. We somehow or other, during the so-called Anthropocene age, during this industrialization for the last 250 years, we have assumed and taken for granted that the earth is for us. And therefore we can keep on extracting that earth and digging all the materials, all the valuables, and you're almost exhausting that. We're leaving nothing to our future generation. UN is very concerned about that in the movement called sustainability development. In way back in 1987, they started thinking about it, and they think it's a major problem right now that we have extracted enough from the womb of the earth, and we have extracted much faster than the nature can replenish, and therefore time is coming when we will not be able to extract any more, and we will be kind of hitting hollow grounds or ghost cities, and that may be and that's the reason they're predicting that the livability on this earth may be reduced for the next 20 years and not beyond that. Resource depletion is another important problem. Political lobbies, corporate cronyism, World Trade tests, ballistic missiles, nuclear proliferation, power supremacy. These are some of the problems I've given you, and this is going. The second thing is the level of impact. Okay, you see global warming, and but here the nature of crisis is geobiological. Obviously, it is geobiological, means it's mostly connected with life, and then local impact is population overgrowth. It's a major problem, and we in India are contributing perhaps the most to the population density. And while population is very important, but if you follow at the same time Malthusian law and Darwinian theories, overpopulation can have certain pressures on nature, and that becomes a problem to be handled. And income inequality. Most of the time there have been inequalities all of the time, but income inequalities are becoming very pronounced during the last 10 years now, and so we are worried about it. The consequence is rich-poor great divide, the rich and poor. Ocean identity, ocean drinking water crisis, agro-pesticide crisis, and so on. I don't have to explain all these crises. I've put this crisis under this particular matrix on local impact and global impact. Let's see this global poverty, this particular thing. Yeah, is a very important thing to be worried about. Go to previous slide. Global poverty. Poverty is what it means is that about 8 billion people, 8 million people, 800 million people of India alone, leave alone the rest of the world, are living in very extreme forms of poverty to the extent that their human dignity is violated and compromised. So we have to be concerned about that. Global unemployment, global underemployment, that's another reason of global poverty, and global human indignity. And global terrorism is something new, global genocide is something new, gender inequity, especially how the women are being treated much less than their actual power and potential. The COVID-19 and viral attack, which is still on global unsustainability, anthropocentrism. Anthropocentrism is a kind of current diseased attitude. We think we humans are superior to the rest of nature, and that we take for granted that we can utilize nature for our own good. So these are the cases I like you to be worried about. Of course, when you are talking about global cases, we need new case research methodologies and methods. And you can say you can take any type of characterization. You are given some very simple characterization. The Excel axis is data sources and sampling method, local sampling method versus global internet-based sampling method. I won't go through this because it's very simple. Regular sampling methods are given here. The internet methods are new ones that are there, mostly based on social media. Then here the analysis method is empirical. Empirical has really played out its role in business management. For the last 60 years, statistics has been dominating and quantitative methods have been dominating. For the last 20 years too, we have seen the rise of what we call qualitative methods, qualitative good articles, and the primary method of analysis is phenomenological. And there may be others, but I do more phenomenological and qualitative analysis. That's which I do for my doctoral students. Now, there are also the different sampling methods, So it's the same thing in little more detail or little more amplified. Empirical methods, local sampling methods, global internet method. All these are not always tried. Local regional sampling, word of mouth sampling, etc. But some of these are known methods, some of these are not known methods. Local sampling based, interview sampling, prime-based sampling, brainstorming, and so on. Then global intersubjective sampling. You'd see that global cases need new methods, new methodologies, and this is just a sampling of some of the methods that are available. And what I like to kind of round up as I finish this talk is that a time has come when business management cannot be simply confined to corporate cases or economic cases and or certain cases in certain developed countries versus non-developed countries. We have to define cases as relevant to the whole world, to the whole globe, to the entire cosmos, especially now with the outer space research that's going on. We are outliving our capacities to be in this planet, and soon, thanks to these great billionaires like Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos and so on, we may be soon colonizing Mars, colonizing other planets which are friendly for human life, and therefore soon the population may be sent by commercialized rockets to different parts of the earth. However, we have to keep this in mind because that's also another problem. And so what I intend to tell you is that while case methodology is very important, I started from Harvard Business School and also kept to a certain extent by Stanford Business School and the Booth School of Management in Chicago. And it's important, but I think a time has come when we have to go beyond small cases. We have to go beyond corporate cases. We have to go beyond financial analysis and so on, but we need to kind of focus on the world, focus on global problems. And we have to come up with new methods, new methodologies to kind of handle these problems. And especially that most of our students who are studying for MBA at business schools in the world or in India are not given too much coverage on global cases, especially global cases that I have hinted in the first part of the lecture. So my appeal to all of you as you are closing this this great seminar on case methodology, case writing, is redefine the content of case, redefine the domain of case in relation to what is happening in the world, what's the urgent problems that are enveloping us, and we have to make our business management very relevant, very urgent, and very useful for our students, for our faculty, as well as for the rest of the society. So I leave this particular thought in with you that one way of completing the case writing seminar that we have gone through for the 5 days is to also look prospectively into the next 5, 10, 15 years as to where the case methodology will go. And definitely it should be, it will be, you know, kind of increase the domain of cases and address the problems of the world, and that we will be more interested in global cases, as I mentioned, and come up with new methods and methodology. Thank you so much. If you have any questions, any comments, any concerns, you can address them to me. Thank you.
Thank you, Father. It was indeed a delight to listen to your thoughts. Dr. Deepika Joshi, Assistant Research Director, SJCC Bangalore, completed her doctoral degree from Malaviya National Institute of Technology, Jaipur. Her interdisciplinary study on supply chain management of Indian auto component industry was published at international level. She obtained her dual specialization MBA degree from University of Rajasthan. Her master's thesis titled New Product Development under Private Label Program for Pantaloon India Limited was acknowledged as best among the category. We now invite Dr. Deepika to deliver the 5-day FDP report.
Thank you so much, Ms. Jatina. Yes. Before I could present the report of these 5 days national program, I would like to extend my heartfelt thanks to the speaker and the guest of our valedictory session, Reverend Dr. Oswal. Not only because Sir has accepted our invitation to be the guest, and with his wisdom he enlightened us with something which we could think beyond what we are teaching. When we talk about case study and during these sessions, we usually end up thinking about our own areas, writing in our own areas. But Sir has actually exposed us to a bigger problems and bigger ways to reach out to the society and where the case studies will going to be. It's not only the we cannot just compartmentalize them into marketing, finance, and the areas like that. We have to think beyond these compartments, beyond these boundaries. That's what Sir has exposed to us. So on behalf of the entire team, my heartfelt gratitude and thanks to Reverend Dr. Oswal for accepting our invitation. Now, as we reach towards the end of this program and being the course convener for this program, I'm expected to, or I'm very happy, in fact delighted to deliver the report of these 5 days FDP program. And as we all are aware that somewhere we applied for the research center, we applied for with the proposal for this case study based workshop. So AICT Atal Academy, they accepted like any other proposals, the good proposals which they have accepted after scrutiny and all. They accepted this proposal and they allowed us to go for organizing this program in the online mode. Soon after that, we made a committee of 5 people headed by me. We had Miss Natya, we had Miss Sharon, we had Miss Jatina and Mr. Vinay Pradeep coming forward and helping every now and then. You might have contacted more than with these 4 people rather than me in these last 5 days. So with the committee comprising of these 5 members, we actually started with working upon the sessions and talks and many other things which is needed as a logistics for this entire program to run, which we actually witnessed in these 5 days. So that happened, and total sessions which are there on the screen before you, totally for 14 sessions actually we planned, right, starting from the case study session 1 and ending up with how we can be happy and think about the well-being and so on, like that. So I'm very delighted to present this report before the entire participants and before my committee. So this workshop started, or this FDP started on October 25, that is the day 1 of the workshop, and all 3 sessions were taken by Dr. Ajoy K. Day. He is a professor at BIMTech Noida, and he was the speaker for 3 different topics. Most importantly, he discussed about introduction to the case and characteristics of the case, and then talking about what are the different 5 aspects which are needed for the case and so. Dr. Day enlightened us with the 4 school of thought and about the significance of the case method. He explained to us about the Hodgkin's taxonomy of research and the nature of the qualitative and the quantitative research and criteria of judging a qualitative research. In fact, he also discussed about the 4 major topics of the qualitative research, that is phenomenology and the ethnography and grounded theory and case study. And he concluded his session with the Bloom's taxonomy, the revised Bloom's taxonomy, which we as a teacher need to know when we go and draft the case studies or teach the case studies. And he summarized his entire session by giving us the 10 tasks given by the Mr. Trevor Wilson of Case Center from UK. Then we started with the day 2 on October 26, and again all 3 sessions were taken by the Dr. A. Shivakumar, who is an associate professor there at VIT Vellore, and he was the speaker on the topic prerequisite for the case writing and differentiating the impactful cases, the good ones and the bad cases he discussed to us. Dr. Shivakumar started his presentation with the Court's learning style, and he spoke about the impact of the case and how to measure the case study. He spoke about the case lead and case material with student project, news headlines, experienced consumer, colleagues, discussion, success, failure, all these things can be a motivation for the case study. And he discussed the case by Michael M. Goldman, Mignon, and his co-authors, and was chosen that as an example to show that how case can be addressed and case can be written. And he given the insights into various publishing outlets for the case study publication and access. With this, we finished the day 2 of our workshop. The day 3, which started on 27th of October, and there we had 3 different speakers for 3 different sessions. Session 1 was taken by Dr. Vinod Kumar, who is an assistant professor for IIIT Lucknow, and he's the speaker means Dr. Vinod Kumar. He discussed about the common misunderstanding and also the major strengths of the case study method. And the general purpose, he described that how we can take the case and how we can describe the case like that. Then we had Dr. Ravi Kumar Jain, Director of the Symbiosis Institute of Business Management, Hyderabad, as a speaker for session 2. And he enlightened us with the importance of case writing in extending experience and strengthening existing knowledge. So Dr. Jain commenced his session with the general question about the experience that participants had during first 2 sessions or first 2 days of the workshop. Then the speaker, Dr. Ravi Kumar, he discussed about that how every academician should focus and address the spectrum of knowledge, which includes creation, dissemination, and application. And if this process continues and we end up giving something practical to our students. And he also said that if this process fails to apply the knowledge, it hinders the practicality part of our delivery as a teacher. So sir given us the insights about the different types of cases as well. The session 3 and the last session for the day 3 was taken up by Dr. Shamti Kamboj, who is an assistant professor at NIT Hamirpur. And she discussed about the case can be a retrospective from the past experience and current real problems as well. And she focused upon or reflected upon the theoretical frameworks also. She discussed about the case of India's first electronic hypercard and that discussed and analyzed in her class. And she also discussed that a Harvard case from Harvard Business Publishing can be used or discussed in class to increase the knowledge or practical aspects of our students. There, with this, we ended the day 3 of our 5 days workshop. Then we had on October 28th, the day 4 of the workshop, which was started with the session 1 by Dr. Ramendra Singh, who is a professor at IIM Calcutta. The topic which he took was the case study teaching or case teaching in an online and physical setting, because nowadays we are in this contemporary world of this online teaching. So that topic he took, and how to engage the students and how to evaluate the students there into the classes when they are both in the online and physical setting up with the case studies. And sir started his session with the significance of the case study as a pedagogy and taking opinion about the same from the participants. And then he constructed his statements. He delivered that how students can be engaged there in classroom by creating an interest among the students about the case study. How important it is for a teacher also to be prepared for the cases and prepared with the teaching notes when they go to deliver the case study there in class or discuss the case study there in class. What is the importance of the time plan and inclusion of the students' opinion there into the case notes, that he given a very important space when we talk about the case study delivery in the class. Sir giving us insights about how the decisions in the case should not be personal, and he considered both the exogenous and the indigenous variable should be a part of the case study teaching. Then session 2 was delivered by Dr. Shreya Mishra, who is an assistant editor for the South Asian Journal of Management Case, which is by the SAGE, and she delivered her talk about the difference between the teaching case and the research case. She majorly focused on the teaching case and the research case both, and how the domain specific the cases the teaching cases or the research or journalism cases, history study cases, biographies, storybooks or movies that can be part of case studies. She discussed upon the components of the teaching case and talking about like introduction, background of the protagonists and many other things she discussed, and she discussed that how the dilemma in the case can be very helpful for the teachers and how we as a teacher have to settle down the dilemma which arrives there in the case. She discussed about the importance of Bloom's taxonomy when we talk about the teaching cases, and she discussed about the case structure for the research cases, that how dissecting a title and introduction and theoretical background, context, methodology, that all plays a very important role. Then the last session for the day 4 was delivered by me, Dr. Deepika. The topic was the challenges, remedies and trade-offs when writing a case. There we discussed about that when the teachers, we as a teachers, we are writing a case, right, what are the challenges which we come across. Challenges in writing a case, challenges in writing a case notes, challenges when we are teaching the cases there in the class, and challenges when any institution it tries to come out with a case study based program there in the institution. So these are the challenges which were discussed, and the remedies and any kind of solution which can be offered considering the students' concern also was discussed in the session 3. Day 5, that is today, which is 29th October 2021, we had two sessions. The first session was delivered by Professor Pooja Gupta, who is the head of the case development at Jagdish State School of Management, and she delivered her talk on preparing for case publication in journals and books and publication of the teaching and the research cases. She focused her entire session on publishing a case, avenues of publishing a case with the Asian Journal of Management case, Asian Case Journal, Research Journal, and she offered with the a variety of avenues where teachers, we as a teachers can go and publish our case, like Harvard, Ivy, case centers, and Emerald. And she also given us exposed to us with the various case study competitions which happens across the globe and where we as a teachers can participate. Then session 2, which was one of the very compulsory session by the AICT and which is certainly needed in the current times, was delivered by Reverend Dr. Joseph DeMello, and he began his session with the introduction comments about how to define happiness, what would give a person a happiness, and he actually taken us through that where we should look for the happiness. He spoke about how happiness is not about feeling happy. It's all about time without pain, about having all personal needs not met, or about not feeling negative option. Then also we can be happy. He spoke about the psychology psychology researcher Sonia Lobremeski, and how the researcher has defined the happiness. He spoke about that what they are, how they define, and its application to the concept of happiness means we as a teacher, how we can be happy, how we can make our classes lively, happy, and so on and so forth. And he spoke about the happiness as an insight factor by giving an example from the Kabir Das story of 15th century, and he also showed a video about from the Dalai Lama's Guide to Happiness. So with this, we concluded our all 14 sessions there for the 5 days national level FDP on case writing in commerce and management education funded by AICT in Atal Academy. In every session, the participants were given an opportunity to post their questions in the chat box, and also an unmuting options when they have to ask any question from the speakers. And the majority and the same questions, I must say, has been responded by the resource person. The institute support, I would like to acknowledge that here, where the institute allowed us to create the personal login ID and password for all 200 participants registered for this workshop. Participants used, almost all the participants, they used the similar login ID and password shared by the institute, and took that as an opportunity to attend the program. I hope the participants, they have benefited out of this program. Thank you so much for patiently listening this report of 5 days national level FDP funded by AICT Atal Academy. Over to you, Ms. Jatina.
Thank you, ma'am, for the thorough summary of the program. I now invite the following participants to give their feedback. Mr. Louis Manoj Ambrose, sir, you may proceed.
Am I audible, Madam Jatina?
Yes, sir, you're audible.
Respected Father Charles Lustado, the principal of St. Joseph's College of Commerce, Father Ozzy Mascarenhas, the chief guest, Dr. Deepika Joshi, the convener of the faculty development program, members of the organizing team, and fellow participants. A very good afternoon to all. First and foremost, I would like to thank my good friend and dear principal of St. Joseph's College of Commerce, Father Charles Lustado. He has been my super senior, and we were colleagues as well at St. Aloysius College in Mangalore, for giving me this last minute entry into this faculty development program. If you see the Excel sheet, my number is 200. And that was by chance that one person, one registered participant, told Madam Deepika that she may not be able to, and I was in, as she was out of that list of 200. Also, thank you to Deepika Madam for her immense motivation and support to be a part of this faculty development program and helping me out in all the formalities for joining this faculty development program. Thanks to the young and dynamic organizing teams, ably led by Madam Deepika Joshi, Madam, we have Madam Jatina, Sharon, and all the other teachers who have been at, to conduct this faculty development program, because it was, I believe, every detail was taken care of. Planning and precision, I think, was the hallmark of this faculty development program. Now, about the FDP, I believe case study writing in commerce and management has been an exemplary one as far as my personal point of view is concerned. The resource persons were too good in the areas of their presentation. I would like to single out Dr. Siva Kumar for his presentation, because I believe I carried an empty plate on day 1, and on day 2 in the evening, my plate was full. I believe it was really a wow session for me, because it gave me what I was looking for. Not to forget the immense contribution as far as my knowledge is concerned from Madam Deepika as well. Madam, your session was too good, because you made it really very practical. What are the problem areas for students, for teachers, writing cases, what are the issues that we take into account. So thank you once again, Madam Deepika, for your lovely presentation. All the other resource persons have contributed immensely to my personal thoughts and definitely have added an edge. Maybe when I go back to my classes once again and teach not a theory, not a practical paper, say marketing, possibly I can do it more effectively through, case study approach. So thank you all for this wonderful opportunity, and hope we join again when St. Joseph's College of Commerce puts up another resourceful FDP in days to come. So thank you, and may God bless us all. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Lewis. That was indeed good to hear. I now invite Mrs. Aradhana Agarwal.
Yes. I am Aradhna, and these 5 days I can surely say have been immensely productive for me for knowledge building. Knowledge gained here definitely will be helpful for me in the long run in my career building. And all the respected speaker of this FDP, I feel have raised the bar on quality and delivery of the content. Sitting back in our respective rooms, we could actually experience how cases were handled and discussed in Harvard Business School. The entire lot of the sessions were very, very interactive and it was very engaging. I think it is not just me, but each one of us would have taken so much from these 5 days classes. And now we will have good action plan for discussing these cases in our classes. Even from each of my co-trainees, they have helped me with the new perspective on different things. So I've learned a lot even from my co-trainees. Thank you, Deepika ma'am, and the entire team for conceptualizing such an effective program and delivering it so well, even in the remote working condition. Thank you all. Thank you all. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mrs. Aradhna. I now invite Dr. Shrishti Ganguly.
Good afternoon, ma'am. Good afternoon to all. I would like to thank AICET and St. Joseph College of Commerce for organizing this knowledge sharing FDP. Here, I would like to mention two highlights of this FDP. Otherwise, I think I'll injustice to organizer. The first one, the course design from day 1 to day 5 was totally balanced, aligned, and we are very much in depth with the subject. Secondly, the time allotted to all eminent speakers really justified with their topic related to case studies. For me, there are many takeaways from this workshop. To name a few, first I'll start the session by Dr. Ajay Kumar De, Dr. Shiv Kumar, Dr. Ravi Kumar Jain, who really took me inside to understand theoretical background with practical approaches in case studies. Moreover, various do's and don'ts while writing publishing case studies in journals from Ms. Shreya Mishra and Ms. Pooja Gupta was really shared in depth. I have also learned effectively applying how and why while teaching cases in the classroom from Dr. Vinod Kumar, from Dr. Shampi, Dr. Ravindra Singh, and Dr. Deepika. Lastly, happiness session by Dr. Joseph D. Melo, and the question, am I happy, is like icing on the cake, which forced me to realize about self-acceptance within myself. To sum up, I would like to say a big thank you to Dr. Deepika Madam and whole organizing team for organizing this wonderful intellectual program and also giving me this opportunity to share my last 5-day journey with you all. Thank you all. I'm looking forward in future to come back and to get an enlightenment more related to this other subject to explore. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you all.
Thank you, Dr. Shrishti. Now I invite Mr. Gautam Ramkumar.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you so much for the opportunity. To introduce myself, my name is Gautam Ramkumar. I am a research scholar from Department of Commerce, SRM Institute of Science and Technology, Tamil Nadu, India. So I would like to express my sincere thanks to the organizer, Deepika ma'am, for organizing this wonderful FDP on case writing in commerce and management. And I think this FDP is vital importance in the current times because if you see any research, any sort of FDP that I have attended previously, it would be either research centric or an academic centric. But I think this is the one of the FDPs where I found where in case writing we covered both the academic aspect as well as the research aspects. The FDP taught us about how to proceed with the case study in the physical classroom as well as in online classroom, plus as well as how to proceed writing with the case studies even for our research. So which I think it's a very complete package for budding researchers like us, that we get to know all the dimensions on these 5 days. I would like to really thank St. Joseph College of Commerce and all the organizers for giving us this wonderful opportunity and creating this fruitful learning experience for us. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Gautam. Now I invite Mrs. Rizwana Khanum.
Good afternoon, all. I'm Professor Rizwana Khanum from Alamin Institute of Management Studies, Bangalore. So this was by far the most informative FDP that I have attended so far. I have gained a lot of insight about case writing, especially Dr. Deepika Joshi ma'am's challenges in case writing, how it was addressed two ways. Like she first collected information from us and then one by one she went on addressing each challenge. Along with that, thank you for hosting, thank you St. Joseph's Institutes and then AICTE for hosting this FDP, and thank you for all of your hard work to provide such a well organized and informative FDP. We look forward to participate further in your other FDP programs. Thank you, Deepika ma'am.
Thank you, Mrs. Rizwana. Now I invite Dr. Swati Athreja. Dr. Swati?
It's difficult for her, I think, to unmute. I can see it here. You can go ahead.
All right. I invite Dr. Vishwasdeep Joshi.
Good afternoon to all. I am Dr. Vishwasdeep Joshi, Assistant Professor of Operational Research, JCRC University, Jaipur. And thank you very much for giving this wonderful opportunity. At the outset, I would like to congratulate the Honorable Vice President, Mr. Brian, Principal Dr. Charles Lastarado, and Advisory Committee, FDP organizer, Dr. Deepika Joshi, and their team members for such a productive faculty development program on case study writing in commerce and management, and which I think is mind-boggling for me. The theme of this FDP was so catchy that I instantly took to join for it, because a number of times I think that I'm facing challenges in this particular area. About the layout and the design of the program, it is meticulously planned. There is no confusion at all where, what, which, and when classes would be held. The dates and the time and the link everyone shared in the beginning. I personally feel that while teaching the optimization problems, the role of the case study is very important to connect the mathematical aspect with the real life problems. Every single day in FDP was special. I'm very happy and I'm really proud to say that I have learned a lot of things about the case study writing. The speaker presentations and their way to connect the students were very effective. Finally, I can say that I am waiting for the next FDP for your esteemed college. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Vishwas. Thank you, dear participants, for the lovely feedback. The floor is now open for the participants to give their feedback. Kindly raise your hand so that the mic can be enabled for you.
Before that, like you can raise your hands, but we are at, okay, first give access to Dr. Cheryl. It's given, I think. We are giving Dr. Cheryl, we are giving you access.
Good afternoon to everyone. I thank Dr. Deepika Joshi for this wonderful opportunity that she has created for us, and also the management of St. Joseph's College of Commerce and Management for doing this for us. It's a real wonderful gesture. This is my second time that I'm participating in this kind of an academic collaboration, and really added to my knowledge. Firstly, when I came last time, I was just a research scholar, and all the learning that I've taken earlier has helped me in my final viva, and now I have come to you as a doctor, and it's a wonderful thing. I did not know about case study. I was just thinking that case study is something that you give to your student, and they need to come up with the problem, cause, and solution to it. But the deeper meaning, I didn't know that there is a difference between a teaching case and a research case, and so many different avenues that a teacher can have for publishing. So, and the concept of qualitative research, which was really brought up by Dr. Shreya Mishra, and that was very important for me, though the other resource persons where their contributions were very important because they had, they had a discussion with us and then we had clarifications through them. But Dr. Mishra, she took us one by one through each and every paragraph, color-coded. And that was an interactive session. And I think that was a high point in this particular workshop for me. So with this, I thank everyone who organized the entire team and Dr. Deepika Joshi for this wonderful session, and also to the management of St. Joseph's. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Dr. Sheryl. Participants, I would like to acknowledge all the messages which you are sending here on my mobile phone, and like a lot of messages of appreciation and thanking the management of our college. I'll certainly convey your gratitude about this program to my management. Because of the time constraint, we could give only limited access, and you understand that part, I'm sure. And before we close for this program, I would like to place on record my entire program, this program which we all have observed in last 5 days, that has been entirely planned by my team members. You all know these team members, Miss Natya, Miss Jetina, Miss Sharon, and Mr. Vinay Pradeep. There was no time when I could say that they were not around me, helping anything. Like I could only get the funding for this program from the AICT. But everything what you see, that perfect management of the class, when somebody can be muted, unmuted, and anything you looked into this program, how the brochure should come out, how the schedule should come out, what you have seen, that all goes to these 4 people, those who were around these last 4 days, they were here. In fact, 5-6 days, I must say, and before that, the program started. So please, my team members, please take this, a big thanks from my side, a heartfelt gratitude from my side, that this program is actually because of you, not because of only the funding which has come to me, or only because of the speakers, and we could deliver like that. So they could look into every smallest part of this program which you have observed in the last 5 years, last 5 days. And I would like to place on record the help extended by the ERP department of ours, the login ID and password, which I could give it to you in advance, taking care of all first day queries which were coming up, like you could not log in and so on and so forth. That only because of the ERP department, that they came forward every time and helping me, that how that can be addressed. And the entire event, which the technical part, the computer department headed by Mr. Kumresh, they have came forward to help me out in dealing with this. In fact, honestly telling you, in my college, the one of the annual fest is going on, that is Kalotsav, and we are crowded with students, and students dancing, and all cultural activities are happening. But they made sure that when I'm delivering my session tomorrow, yesterday, which you have observed, or the program when it is going on, there should not be any noise when the principal speaking or I am speaking. So this cannot happen only because of one person getting the funding. This is possible only because of the teamwork which we could pull in. So thank you so much, the entire team, for what you have done, and the entire management of the St. Joseph's College of Commerce, and the chief guest who could come out of his busy schedule for the inauguration program, and such a wisdom-oriented and an experienced person who could come to give us the further insight about the case studies that could happen only because of the Reverend Dr. Oswal, which we met today. So thank you so much. I hope that it is an eye-opener program for you. I don't say that by this case study workshop, 5 days workshop, you will be able to write 100% case study, but I'm very much sure the quality and the content delivered by all of our speakers, eminent speakers, fine, they would have taken you through the eye-opener kind of a case study. And my heartfelt thanks to all the participants who could choose this program out of many programs, which were available there on the AICTE portal, and especially to the active participants who could make the event lively. And we all as an organizer also enjoyed, and your name comes there in the report, because many of you, those who have organized, that I have to produce a report, a very elaborated, comprehensive report to the AICTE, and your name is part of those reports, those who have asked the queries and all, that they were the active participants and all. So thank you so much for this. Now I think Dr. Shrishti was raised, somebody was raising the hand, then I was speaking. Shikta, Dr. Shikta, are you there?
Dr. Shikta, please raise your hand so we can give you access.
In fact, in this program, I could see that many of the participants, they are the ones, those who have attended our previous program also, and which I only convened. So that gives a very, happy feeling that people like our program, so that they come back. Right, like what Dr. Cheryl said, that one time she came as a non-doctorate to us and now she is a doctorate. So that gives us a real good feeling that people are liking the program. There cannot be any good honor to your program and people coming back to your program. It means they like the previous one, so they are coming. So thank you so much to all of you. I think Dr. Shikta, you want to say something? You are not audible, Dr. Shikta.
Ma'am, you're on mute.
Still you are on mute, Dr. Shikta. We can't hear you.
Ma'am, you're still on mute, ma'am.
You are still on mute, Dr. Shikta. You can post there on the chat box, Dr. Shikta. No issues. Yeah, I could see that there is some internet connectivity at your end, right? So participants, with this, we reach towards the end of our 5 days national level FDP on case writing in commerce and management, funded by AICTE Atal Academy. And I would like to place on record the entire support given by the AICTE Atal Academy while organizing this program, right from guiding us, releasing the fund, and taking care of small parts and making it so meticulous for we organizers to bring it before you. So thank you so much to the AICTE Atal Academy for this program. Now I have to guide you with something.